I'd like to greet all human beings all around the world with a universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. I'd like to tell all of my Muslim brothers and sisters, I've been leaving out sisters, my brothers and sisters, Muslim brothers and sisters, I'd like to greet you all with the universal greetings of Ramadan Mubarak, blessed Ramadan. This evening is Friday, May the 10th, 2019. It's about 7:43 p.m. I'd like to say I thank God for the 23 years that I've been down here. I thank God for the history that I learned down here. I thank God in the 23 years I've been down here, I never had a traffic ticket. The only 2 cases I ever had, both of them was misdemeanors. And I still today claim my innocence and still fighting to clear my record. And one of them was almost 20 years ago, a sexual misconduct. And another one about 2 years ago was harassment, which if anybody knew both of the cases, they knew if I'd have had a fair trial, I wouldn't have had neither one of these misdemeanors, period. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not my MO. And people that have a MO of certain things, they tend to repeat these things. This is something that I never did before, never did at all, and never would have another one on me unless I've been framed like I was before, unless I was unjustly arrested, unjustly tried, and wrongfully convicted. But that's another thing. I thank God for me being a black man in the South, and this is no disrespect to no whites, blacks, or anybody else, but I thank God for me being a black man in the South, a single father, raising my 2 young daughters, going up to Chicago twice when their mother ran off with them, with the aid and assistance of some, not all, some of the Charleston, Missouri Police Department and some of these other preachers and organizations. They know who they are, God know who they are, I know who they are, and that's all that counts. You see what I'm saying? One thing about when you do wrong, wrong will catch up with you sooner or later. But I thank God that I went up there and got them both times. I thank God that they was not dead. I thank God that we gave their mother several chances. But at some point, you must stop. You see what I'm saying? So we stopped. They didn't give up on them, but we stopped and we carried on. We did like God told Lot. You see what I'm saying? To leave and don't look back. You see, when Lot's wife looked back, it was a thing where she turned into a pillar of salt. You see, I don't want to turn into a pillar of salt because of the fact I want to be able to take care of my 2 daughters. You see, I done had many attackers, black and white. But you know, in the end, when I was trying to fight the battles, it was confrontational. But when God got to fighting the battles, it was the peace be still. The waters was quiet. The grass was green. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, I must be doing something right that my enemies, black and white, wants to silence this voice. You see, I seen something where they took Farrakhan off of Facebook. I guess they might have wanted, I don't know what their reason was, but sometime when you do certain things and you awaken certain people that been asleep for years, the enemy, and I don't know in Farrakhan's case, but I know in my case, the enemy wants me to be quiet. You see what I'm saying? The enemies won't tell you, and I wasn't raised down here, but I've been down here 23 years of that 23 years being down here. I learned and I met some good people. I met Miss Annie Davis. I met her daughter and her son, Johnny and Barbara Davis. And every black that go to the Charleston R1 school district, every black that went to Lincoln School when you couldn't go to the then Charleston Consolidated School number 7, which is the Charleston R1 school district today, y'all need to thank Miss Annie Davis, may she rest in peace. Her daughter Barbara Davis, may she rest in peace. Her son Johnny Davis, may he rest in peace, because they filed a lawsuit against the Charleston Consolidated School number 7 because they wasn't allowing blacks to go there. And the only way blacks can get an education was at the Lincoln School. The courts seen that Annie, Barbara, and Johnny Davis all had a legitimate claim and ruled in their favor. And that's how blacks was able to start going to the Charleston R1 school district today. You see, my enemies don't want you to know that. All my enemies want you to know is what they done did, and there's nothing that's been constructive or positive. You see what I'm saying? When I leave Charleston, Missouri, and even though my daughters was born and raised here, if they ever come back, they can tell you something positive about their dad. You see what I'm saying? They can tell you something positive about their granddad that we went up 5 years ago and got him from Chicago and brought him back down here. You see what I'm saying? That's something that a real man would do. A real man, when his children is in danger, he'll go get them. I went and got mine. One thing about it, you can see this street here. Look how nice and peaceful it is, y'all. Look how nice and peaceful it is. Look how clean it is. Look how clean it is. It's not nice and peaceful and clean because somebody that don't live over here came over here and did nothing. It's because of the neighborhood itself. You see, when my daughters leave here, they're not going to call this street or this area the hood. When they come back, they going to take their friends to Vine Street. You see what I'm saying? They're not going to tell their friends, well, I lived in the hood. You know, what is the hood? The hood classifies sometimes a negative thing. You see what I'm saying? But to each his own. But I thank God that I'm a real man. When I went and got my kids, did no organization or no group help me at all. God directed me and I went and got them. When I went to get my dad and brought him down here a week later, my enemies called the Department of Aging and said that I would kidnap my dad and I was misusing him. The enemy did the same thing with my children. But then when they came, the Children and Family Service came, when the Department of Aging came with the police, they seen that my enemies called anonymous like they do when they get on my Facebook page when it was there in my YouTube channel. They come with mock names. They do just like the Ku Klux Klan did back in the day with the blacks, and they do it some places now. They put sheets on their shoulders and hoods on their head because they're afraid and they're cowards. But one thing about it, when I exit here, I'm going to exit with a good name. When I leave from Vine Street, just like when I left from Rodney and 8th Street, I brought unity in my community. And anybody that lived around me would say the same thing. I brought unity in my community. And that's what my enemies don't like. All you got to do is, you don't have to envy me or hate me or unjustly attack me. Get you some education. Pick up a book and read. Study. You should know more about Charleston, Missouri than I do. Peace be still.